It is illegal to follow within fill in the blank of a fire truck that is sounding its siren. A. 1 mile. B. 1,000 feet. C. 750 feet. D. 500 feet. D. 500 feet. You must not follow a fire truck responding to a fire alarm at a distance closer than 500 feet. You must not drive or park your vehicle within the block where a fire truck has stopped to answer a fire alarm. You may park directly across the street from the entrance of a fire station. A. If the emergency vehicles have just left the station. B. During the night. C. In clear weather. D. Under no circumstances. D. Under no circumstances. Drivers may not park within 20 feet of a fire station's entrance when on the same side of the roadway or within 75 feet of the entrance when on the opposite side of the roadway. An improperly parked vehicle may cause a crash. Fog can greatly reduce the visibility of other vehicles, pedestrians, and traffic signals. When driving in fog, you should A. Drive cautiously and reduce your speed. B. Not use your high beam headlights. C. Use low beam headlights to better illuminate the road and objects. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. Fog can greatly reduce your ability to see other vehicles, pedestrians, and traffic signals. When driving in fog, drive cautiously and at reduced speeds. Do not use high beam headlights. Low beams better illuminate the road and objects ahead in foggy conditions. Good vision, courtesy, and fitness to drive are A. Keys to safe driving. B. Keys to aggressive driving. C. Not necessary to drive well. D. Necessary for poor driving. A. Keys to safe driving. Good vision, courtesy, and fitness to drive are considered keys to driving safely. Properly caring for your vehicle, properly signaling while driving, and otherwise obeying traffic laws are also keys to safe driving.
Want to ace your DMV test? Click on the link below and get your guaranteed cheat sheet.
A fully loaded tractor-trailer traveling at 55 miles per hour could take up to fill in the blank to come to a complete stop. A. 50 feet. B. 125 feet. C. 400 feet. D. 750 feet. C. 400 feet. Tractor-trailers take longer distances to stop than smaller cars traveling at the same speed. A fully loaded tractor-trailer may take almost 400 feet to come to a complete stop when driving at 55 miles per hour. Larger vehicles have A. Larger blind spots. B. Smaller blind spots. C. No blind spots. D. The same blind spots as smaller vehicles. A. Larger blind spots. The larger the vehicle, the larger the blind spots. Large trucks and SUVs have spots close to their rears that cannot be seen in their side or rearview mirrors. Motor vehicles are required to have A. A license plate only on the front. B. A license plate only on the back. C. License plates on both the front and back of the vehicle. D. License plates, but only if the driver chooses to have them. C. License plates on both the front and back of the vehicle. Texas drivers are required to have license plates attached to both the front and rear of the vehicle. Any motor vehicle owned by a Texas resident cannot be parked or driven on a public street or highway unless it is properly registered and displays license plates. Anything that requires you to fill in the blank could cause you to crash. A. Take your eyes off the road. B. Take your hands off the wheel. C. Take your attention away from the task of driving. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. Anything that causes you to take your attention away from driving, take your eyes off the road, and/or take your hands off the wheel is a distraction. When should you drive in a reversible lane with a lane control signal showing a red X? A. If there is no visible oncoming traffic. B. If you are passing the car in front of you. C. Never. D. Between sunset and sunrise. C. Never. Lane control signals are used when the direction of the flow of traffic in a specific lane changes throughout the day. They are used to show which lanes of traffic are open and closed, as well as to show if toll booths are open or closed. Never drive in a lane marked with a red X. At an intersection with a stop sign, you should stop in. A. Check your rearview mirror for cars tailgating. B. Move when the vehicle ahead of you moves. C. Look right first, then left, then right again. D. Look left first, then right, then left again. D. Look left first, then right, then left again. When stopped at an intersection, you should first look to your left, as vehicles coming from the left are closer to you than vehicles coming from the right. Look to your right, then look to your left again, in case there are any vehicles coming from that direction that you did not see at first glance. This sign means A. One-way traffic. B. Intersection ahead. C. Merging traffic from the right. D. Highway curves ahead. C. Merging traffic from the right. This sign indicates that there is merging traffic entering from the right. What might a flag on the back of a bicycle indicate? A. The operator will be making frequent stops. B. The operator drives above the speed limit. C. The operator is hearing impaired. D. The bicycle is broken. C. The operator is hearing impaired. Slow down when driving near a bicyclist with a flag on the back of their bicycle because the flag may indicate that the bicycle operator is hearing impaired. Use caution when driving near bicycles. This road sign means A. You are about to enter a one-way street the wrong way. B. School crossing ahead. C. Do not drive in this lane. D. Traffic turning left on the green light must yield to oncoming traffic. D. Traffic turning left on the green light must yield to oncoming traffic. This sign is used with a traffic signal to tell drivers that left-turning traffic does not have the right of way and must instead wait for oncoming traffic to clear. When approaching an uncontrolled intersection, a driver should A. Maintain their speed and proceed. B. Stop at the intersection, check in all directions, and proceed. C. Yield to all other drivers. D. Be prepared to yield. D. Be prepared to yield. At an intersection where there is no stop sign or traffic signal, you should yield to a vehicle approaching the intersection from the right. However, always be prepared to yield to avoid a crash. Do this by taking your foot off the accelerator, covering the brake, and looking left, right, and left again. A work zone. A. May be moving or stationary. B. Is marked with black and white signs. C. Does not require a driver to slow down and pay extra attention. D. All of the above. A. May be moving or stationary. Work zones are often stationary, but they may also be present in the form of moving vehicles striping lines, mowing, or removing snow. Work zones are marked by orange signs with black lettering or symbols. Slow down and pay extra attention when approaching or driving through a work zone. You must stop at a railroad crossing when A. Directed to do so by a flagger. B. It is controlled by a stop sign. C. Flashing red signals and gates are present and operating. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. You must stop at a railroad crossing when directed to do so by a flagger or stop sign. Stop when flashing red signals and gates are present and operating. Vehicles are required to be covered by liability insurance? A. Only when used on an interstate. B. Only when operated by a minor. C. At all times. D. Never. C. At all times. The Texas Motor Vehicle Safety Responsibility Act was enacted to ensure all drivers are financially responsible for the death, injury, or property damage they may cause while operating a motor vehicle. All owners and/or operators of motor vehicles in Texas must have at least the minimum amount of liability insurance. Traffic signs and pavement markings. A. Must always be obeyed. B. Are merely suggestions. C. Must be followed only when there is other traffic. D. Must be followed only when a police officer is present. A. Must always be obeyed. Traffic flow is controlled by pavement markings, traffic islands, signals, and signs. These devices inform drivers of conditions on the roadway and help guide drivers safely to their destinations. You must always obey traffic signs, signals, and pavement markings. What color are pavement markings that separate traffic lanes moving in opposite direction? A. Yellow. B. White. C. Yellow and white. D. Yellow, white, and black. A. Yellow. Yellow lines are used in the center of the road to separate lanes of traffic moving in opposite directions. When encountering a warning sign, drivers should A. Pay attention to their surroundings. B. Follow instructions. C. Reduce their speed to at least the posted advisory speed. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. Warning signs alert drivers to conditions that are immediately ahead and tell them what to look for. When encountering a warning sign, drivers should pay attention to their surroundings, follow instructions provided by the sign, and reduce their speed, if recommended. What do large flashing arrow panels indicate? A. Drivers should merge into the lane indicated by the arrow. B. There is something to look at in the direction of the arrow. C. Drivers may stay in their current lane. D. Drivers should come to a complete stop. A. Drivers should merge into the lane indicated by the arrow. Large flashing or sequential arrow panels are used in construction areas where a lane is closed. Prepare to slow down and merge in the direction indicated by the arrow. When approaching a roundabout, you should always A. Increase your speed. B. Maintain your speed. C. Come to a complete stop. D. Decrease your speed. D. Decrease your speed. When approaching a roundabout, slow down. A roundabout is designed to be driven at a low speed. This sign means A. Divided highway ends. B. One-way traffic ahead. C. Two-way traffic ahead. D. Keep to the right. D. Keep to the right. This sign indicates that you must keep to the right of the upcoming divider. Which of the following statements about railroad crossings is true? A. It is against the law to go around lowered gates at a crossing. B. You must stop at a railroad crossing when directed to do so by a flagger. C. Not all railroad crossings are equipped with flashing red signals and gates. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. You must stop at a railroad crossing when directed to do so by a flagger, stop sign, or warning devices, such as gates or flashing lights. Not all railroad crossings are equipped with such devices. It is against the law to drive around lowered railroad crossing gates. When passing a large vehicle, the driver of a small vehicle must be prepared for A. Loud noises. B. Excess air pollution. C. Wind gusts produced by the large vehicle. D. Falling vehicle parts. C. Wind gusts produced by the large vehicle. Large vehicles can cause wind gusts with a force great enough to cause direction changes in smaller vehicles. Drivers of small vehicles should be prepared to take proper corrective steering action when approaching or passing large vehicles that are moving at or near maximum speeds. This road sign means A. A steep grade is ahead. B. You must turn left ahead. C. Do not enter. D. A four-way intersection is ahead. D. A four-way intersection is ahead. This sign warns that a four-way intersection is ahead. This road sign means A. The road ahead turns sharply right, then left. B. The road ahead turns sharply left, then right. C. The road ahead curves to the left. D. Construction ahead. A. The road ahead turns sharply right, then left. This sign indicates that the road ahead will turn sharply to the right and then to the left. A driver entering interstate traffic from an entrance or acceleration ramp. A. Should yield to drivers already on the interstate. B. Has the right of way. C. May force their way into traffic. D. Can assume that other drivers will change lanes to make room. A. Should yield to drivers already on the interstate. If you are on an entrance or acceleration ramp and are entering interstate traffic, you should yield to drivers already on the interstate highway. Merge safely into traffic when you are able to do so. An approaching driver fails to dim their high-beam headlights. Where should you look? A. At the wheels of the approaching vehicle. B. Toward the right side of the road. C. Toward the left side of the road. D. Straight down the middle of the road. B. Toward the right side of the road. If an approaching driver fails to dim their high beams, glance toward the right side of the road. This will keep you from being blinded by the other vehicle's headlights and will allow you to see enough of the road to stay on course until the other vehicle has passed. The driver's left arm and hand are extended downward. This hand signal means that the driver plans to A. Turn left. B. Turn right. C. Stop. D. Start up. C. Stop. If a driver's left arm and hand are extended downward, they are indicating that they intend to stop. Adjust your driving accordingly if following a driver who is using this hand signal.